Good morning. Thank you, Peter, for 15 years. Actually, it's 18, if I'm completely honest. But it's fun. It's all the way fun. So I will be another lady talking about the culture. And actually, my role, my really official role is Senior HR and Corporate Communications Director, but I would really say that I call or I see myself as a leader of people and communication processes in our cluster. This is really what I do and what I'm responsible for, together with my top team, my leadership team in our cluster. I'm quite sure that most of colleagues here from Serbia knows who VIP Mobile is. Please do raise your heads who our customers are, so VIP Mobile customers here in Serbia. Of course, our CEO, Dejan, is definitely our customer. Somebody else? Good. Maggie is my colleague. MTEL is part of our Telekom Austria group, and together with MTEL and VIP Mobile and C-Mobile, so C-Mobile and VIP Mobile are really the OpCos I'm responsible for in terms of HR and corporate communications. There is also VIPNet, which is our sister. Do we have anyone from Croatia here? A lot of. I also know that we have one colleague from VIPNet here. Željko, hi, I don't see you, but I know you are somewhere here. Hi. Yeah, so we are all members of Telekom Austria Group. We are present in 8 countries within Central Eastern Europe, and we are really one of the leading telco providers in Central Eastern Europe. But telco industry in the recent times, it's going through quite a wild transformation, I would say. Digital transformation, if I'm correct. I suppose you all know what this means, although it's quite a buzzword in the last years already. But we need to be clear that providing just services like voice telephony, internet, multimedia, this is definitely not enough anymore for the future. If we want to be part of the creators of digital transformation in our society, we telco operators, we really need to lead the path. And we need to offer new services, new business models, and really meet the needs of our current and future customers. And this is quite a transition. But beside this huge transition in telco, we started last year in our cluster another transition. Last year in summer, we united 2 big companies. So one is VIP Mobile, which has approximately 1,000 employees here in Serbia, and another is C-Mobile, who had at that time approximately 500 employees in Slovenia. So we united these 2 big companies into one cluster. Actually, better saying, into one company operating in 2 markets. And then, really, to complicate everything, in addition, we added another company from Slovenia, which is called AMIS, and it's fixed services provider. So we really started to create one company out of 3 companies in 2 markets. So, hell of a job, I tell you. Actually, it was really hell of a drive. I would say we really felt like being on a transition roller coaster in a way. And, in general, creating one company out of many, or just doing a major organizational change in your organization is really a transition or a journey through change. And in changes, you know how things go. Most of people somehow are looking on the changes through the negative lenses. They feel emotions which are quite negative. At the beginning, it's quite a denial and anger. I mean, this is not going to work. This is terrible. Why we cannot stay at the old? Everything was okay. Why do we need to deal with these Serbs? I'm Slovene, by the way. And I know that the Serbs said the same. And it's really a deep dive, And in this deep dive is a lot of depression for a lot of them. But of course, time passes by, some new things are entering, some new friendships are here. So people start testing, seeing a bit more positive, and at the end, when you somehow come over, you are in the new change, and actually you accept this new way of working as the only way how we do things around here. It's much easier, much more fun if you go through the change or you look through on the change through the positive lenses. If you are like on a blue train in a roller coaster, you see a lot more positive. So you see excitement. Wow, it's amazing. I mean, new opportunities. I can meet new friends. I can travel more. Also, this was quite a lot of our employees had this kind of thought. And we do travel a lot. I mean, I tell you, the Hotel Inn, where we usually stay when we are in Belgrade, I think half of the guests are from Simobil. And quite similar situation is also when our Serbian colleagues are traveling to Ljubljana or Maribor. So if you are on the blue train, so really looking on the change through positive lenses, it's easier. It's definitely easier. But if you don't get enough of communication, if you do not get really the information why this we are doing, what's your role in this journey, you can also check out. And definitely also a lot of people from our cluster checked out in this road. So really communication through the journey is the key. I would definitely say this first. Of course, this is not the only step which you need to take. Can I take some water? Huh? This is really not the only step you need to take. First, as Maya said, and Maggie said, and actually all these cultural ladies said, first you really need to know why you are doing this change. So why you are doing this change, what will this mean for your customers, what this will mean for your company, and what will this mean for you or us employees in this journey. This is really, really important. And and of course, you don't just do it, you need to tell it. Communicate it frequently. Then the second thing which you need to do is definitely define and build a top management team of this new structure. I really have a great luck to work with our CEO, Dejan, and who said, Maya or Ivana, that you have really people-focused CEO. So our Dejan is like this. Actually, I think I'm the only HR director here whose CEO is sitting here and supporting me during this speech. So thank you. So really, first thing after determining the big why we are doing this change is build management team who will be leading the organization and this change. And this management team should really be acting, breathing like one team. So this means, of course, having aligned goals, having aligned guiding principles, really being as one voice. This is really, really important. Another thing is, of course, and do it as quick as possible, define a strategy. So what are really the key strategic objectives which your new company or new organization will have? And of course, communicate it. Then, of course, make sure that you retain your key employees. It's really critical. You know, in this transition, I mean, so many people check out. And in our transition, also a lot of people check out. Besides these who we ask them to leave. The problem is that usually check out people who you would really like to keep. So it's really important to make sure that you retain your key employees. Whatever you do, and usually this kind of changes includes also layouts, whatever you do, make sure that you do in compliance with the law. Not just with the law, I would say, do it with the people personal touch. So trust, dignity, respect in this approach is really important. I tell you, I mean, I joined this group and this cluster actually at the start, last year in June. Until September, I knew for sure all people who left or who we asked them to leave, and I knew almost nobody from the people who stayed. This was September last year. So we really put a lot of personal people touch and treated people with trust, dignity, and respect. And of course, besides doing, I would once again say, doing is not enough. You need to communicate, communicate, communicate. You know how it is. You need to hear it 7 times to really hear it. So this is really important. So this is how our organization, our team looks like now. You can see that our environment is quite collaborative. So what you see here are our new offices in VIP Mobile in Belgrade, so in Navigator building near Holiday Inn. So it's a lot of open space, a lot of collaboration corners. We really do a lot of communication. We also use a lot of video conferences, of course, not just discussing VIP Mobile with C-Mobile, so Serbia, Slovenia, but also discussing with Bulgaria, with Vienna, where our headquarters are. So video conferencing is really the way we do things lately. And we definitely make sure that we have great spaces for a nice collaboration. There on the top, you see our roof in Navigator. It's really fun, and we do have also some parties there. The very similar roof we have also in C-Mobile, so we do things alike. So we really promote communication, and I would say our colleagues, our employees in our cluster are really the promoters of communications as well. So we use, of course, a lot of different channels. We use Facebook. On Facebook, we have closed groups where our employees are all in, and they post things like this. I mean, these are our posts, and you know, there are a lot of posts daily. Besides regular Facebook, now in October, we also launched the Facebook at Work, or how it is called now, Workplace. We are the first group in Central Eastern Europe where all employees, so more than 17,000 employees of Telekom Austria Group, are all in Workplace. You know how big changes these are? And how many new opportunities we have with this. So, of course, we do communicate really, really a lot. Are we successful? Did we go successfully through this journey, especially the cluster or one company journey here in Serbia, Slovenia? I would say we did. I mean, definitely also our engagement survey results. So we ran satisfaction survey in Telekom Austria Group. How many years, Maggie? 4? Just 4? Okay, good. Nevertheless, we run it regularly, yearly. So we run it this year, somewhere in spring, actually May, June. And our results, so cluster, C-Mobile, and VIP Mobile results were really outstanding. We were 7% better than average of the group. And also our results are better than average companies on the market. Diversity as the area was really scored as the highest. And you know, working in such environment as VIP Mobile and C-Mobile is, so a lot of Slovenes and a lot of Serbs and a lot of AMIS, C-Mobile, VIP Mobile employees, it's a lot of diversity. We also have, for example, in our leadership team, there are half men, half women, and we are telco, you know, and quite similar situation is in all over the organization. And we are really proud on this, and we know that being diverse really means being rich and able to succeed in the future. And this also our employees knows. So I'm really proud. But beside all these things which we did and which I shared with you, I'm really proud how we started our Leadership Journey program. Actually, Leadership Journey program was intended to somehow, like a train which would help us communicate and learn our employees how we do things, especially in relation to people processes. So how we interact among each other, how we set goals, how we provide feedback, how we assess people, how we recognize people, how we reward people. So this was the intention. But of course, before we were really able to start this Leadership Journey program, we needed to make sure that really the foundations are here. What were the foundations? I briefly mentioned them before. So we really were working first on defining one top team so that they breathe and work and speak as one voice. So this was really important. Then, of course, we defined one job architecture structure. I mean, I am HR, so of course this was really important. So out of 800 jobs which we had, 3 companies, now we have just 400 jobs. And of course, I mean, agent means exactly the same agent in Serbia or in Slovenia. The job grading is completely aligned. Compensation and benefit plans are completely aligned. Of course, all these things were prerequisite also for the employment contract. So when we merged AMIS with April 1st, this was also the time when we issued 1,600 new employment contracts in our cluster. So we were really all on the same pace. And you can imagine that really without a lot of communication, we would not be able to succeed. I mean, all employment contracts were signed of course, by the company and by employees. I think this was really a success. So this was really the foundation needed to start our leadership journey. And the leadership journey looks like this. So in general, this is really a series of short workshops which are led by HR. So all my HR team is deeply involved. But in addition, our business leaders are involved as well as trainers. So they go through the training and they are standing together with HR or training expert and really leading, facilitating the workshops with their teams, with their colleagues, peers, subordinates. I think this definitely helped a lot to somehow create the understanding how we do things around here, what emotions we appreciate, what emotions or behaviors we do not appreciate. And this is in general what it is when you talk about culture. How you interact, how you behave, how the things are done here. So
We're nearly there. Are we nearly there?
1 minute.
1 minute. One quick minute.
Okay, good. So just to recap what I said, so really the key messages or the key learnings which we had, it's really important first to define why are you doing the change. So why what it is in for customers, company, and each individual. How you will do it, what will you do it, in the strategy part. The same important. Then the second thing, build one leadership team which is really breathing and acting like one. Very important. They are the preachers of everything, so this is really important. Appreciate diversity. We cherish so much diversity in our cluster, and I'm really proud on this. Define organizational structure and decision making, also very important. Every person needs to know where he belongs, what his job is, who is his manager, who are his colleagues. Very important. And to really glue all things together, include people processes and frequent and open communication regularly.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Larisa Grizilo. Thank you very much. Fantastic.